Hey, how's it going? This is your daily sweet talk for October 11th, 2025. When is cross country skiing easy? When you live in a very small country, of course. I mentioned recently a thing that I think about sometimes, or that I imagine sometimes, of just making sure I got a face still I can pause on for the thumbnail. Um, where when I was in preschool, this is when when it started. I think I would imagine my life as a movie for real. Um, it was well because I would imagine like TV shows too, like fake TV shows, and I don't know if those. Um, I don't remember what any of those were, but I remember they were on the Candy Channel. In all my like stuff like that, like my comics were Candy comics. That's why everything is semi-sweet now. It's sort of like an evolution of that. It was semi-sweet edits and semi-sweet gaming and more stuff in the future. If I do comics, it'll be semi-sweet comics, etc. Um, as long as the corporation names aren't taken. But I also imagined this movie that was just like it wasn't like, oh, what if my life was a movie, who would play me, etc. No, it was, I feel like I misuse etc. a lot. Um, it was just what I'm doing is the movie. Maybe it's first person. Maybe there's like cameras around. Like, what would my this moment of my life look at? How it would look be shot, where the camera would be right now, and not just like not really imagining the logistics so much like that, but more like what the movie would look like, how the audience is reacting. And I think there was some audience maybe, but eventually it was um because the movie is so long, that became like the focus for the bit, if you wanted to call it a bit, the imaginary scenario. That's eventually what it became, because I remember even in by the time I was in elementary school, I would be imagining this, and I'm like, um, God, everyone in that theater is gone by now. And then when I started watching YouTube, there was a YouTuber I watched who started doing movie reviews, or maybe they were already doing movie reviews by the time I watched the channel. But I'm not gonna say who it is because I think I'm mutuals with them on Letterboxd now. But I did also have them as my Facebook profile picture at some point. Not even because I was like, this is gonna sound like this is one of my favorite YouTubers or something. And again, I'm not gonna say who it is. But also, that's not even true. I like the channel, but it was more just like, this is a channel I watched, and I was change my profile picture a lot to just random images I have or things I'm watching or whatever. Um, and this was pretty much the only. This was at least, it was like the first movie reviewer channel I watched. Like there was also like eventually Rallis P and Beyond the Trailer and stuff like that. And I was never super into any of these things. It was more just like for movie news or something, or I don't know. I don't even know. I would just subscribe to every channel. But this one channel that did movie reviews and still does, I think that's like the only thing they do now. Um, I for some reason I pictured, I guess because they were the only movie reviewer I watched, I pictured that they went to see the movie and there was maybe like one other person and their parent still left in the theater, and that sort of developed into its own storyline, not in the movie, except for when I would imagine it. When I would start thinking about it, then it's like they're in the movie. It's like the people watching the movie are in the movie because I'm thinking about it. So it becomes, even though I don't think I've ever spoken about it out loud before the other day when I mentioned it in Sweet Talk, I actually don't think I've ever mentioned it out loud because it's nothing to me. This is probably so surreal for the people watching the movie in the imaginary scenario right now that I'm finally acknowledging it. The movie can end. I can kill myself and the movie can end because it's my whole life is the movie. Um, but yeah, the two people that were left in the theater because eventually the parent died. They like are just living there in the theater, raising a family and watching my life.